We are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. We heard that Shiva again gave them life and all those things so that they can do that yagya, and he punished them for their own good, and Daksha realized that and he was grateful and respectful to Shiva. Then they again started doing yagya. So, thus being pardoned by Lord Shiva, King Daksha, with the permission of Lord Brahma, again began the performance of the yagya along with the great learned sages, the priests and others. Thereafter, in order to resume the activities of sacrifice, the Brahmanas first arranged to purify the sacrificial arena of the contamination caused by the touch of Virabhadra and the other ghostly followers of Lord Shiva. Then they arranged to offer into the fire the oblations known as Purodasha. So this we heard yesterday, that they're smoking ganja and wearing long hair and they don't take bath regularly. So they are ghosts and they were passing urine and all these things, so they first had to purify the yagya. Advar yu nata havisha yajamano vishampate dhiya vishudaya dadyo tatha pradu rabhut dhari. The great sage Maitreya said to Vidur, "My dear Vidur, as soon as King Daksha offered the clarified butter with Yajurveda mantras in sanctified meditation, Lord Vishnu appeared there in his original form as Narayan." Tada swaprabhaya tesham dyotayantya disho dasha mushnams teja upanitas tarkshyena stotra vajina. Lord Narayan was seated on the shoulder of Stotra or Garuda, who had big wings. As soon as the Lord appeared, all directions were illuminated, diminishing the luster of Brahma and the others present. Shyamo hiranya rashanor ka kirita justo Nilalaka Brahmara Mandita Kundalasya Shankabja Chakra Shara Chapa Gadasi Charma Vyagreir Hiran Maya Bujair Iva Karnikaraha. His complexion was blackish, his garment yellow like gold, and his helmet as dazzling as the sun. His hair was bluish, the color of black bees, and his face was decorated with earrings. His 8 hands held a conch shell, wheel, club, lotus flower, arrow, bow, shield, and sword. And they were decorated with golden ornaments, such as bangles and bracelets. His whole body resembled a blossoming tree, beautifully decorated with various kinds of flowers. Vakshasi adhishrita vadur vana mali udara khasavaloka kalaya ramayam cha vishwam parshva brahmat vyajana chamara rajahamsa shveta patra shveta tapatra shashinopari rajyamana. Lord Vishnu looked extraordinarily beautiful because the goddess of fortune and the garland were situated on his chest. His face was beautifully decorated with a smiling attitude, which can captivate the entire world, especially the devotees. Fans of white hair appeared on both sides of the Lord like white swans, that is chamara. And the white canopy overhead looked like the moon. Like iron, clean iron is attracted to magnet. But if there is rust, then this nature is not seen. So here, devotees, they are attracted to Supreme Lord. The Kangsa and others, they also saw Supreme Lord, but they were not attracted because of their own wrong attitude. But devotees, they are attracted. Tam upagatam alakshya sarve sura ganadaya pranemuh sahasotaya brahmenda triaksha nayaka. That is why when Vishnu kills demons, he kills their gross and subtle body, and then they become attracted to him. And because of that attraction, they get liberation. As soon as Lord Vishnu was visible, all the demigods, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, the Gandharvas, and all present there, immediately offered their respectful obeisances by falling down straight before him. Tat tejasa hata ruchach sana jihvach sa sadvasah murdna dritanjali puta upatastur adokshajam. In the presence of the glaring effulgence of the bodily luster of Narayan, everyone else's luster faded away, and everyone stopped speaking. Fearful with awe and veneration, all present touched their hands to their heads and prepared to offer their prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Adokshaja. Maybe like this, I think. Touch their hands to their heads, like this. Adokshaja means one who reserves the right of not being exposed to human senses. It's transcendental, Adokshaja. A Pyarvak Vritayo Yasya Mahi Tvatma Bhuv Adaya Yata Mati Grinanti Sma Kritanu Graha Vigraham. Pratyaksha, Paroksha, Aparoksha, Adokshaja, and Prakrita. 5 stages of perception. By your own senses, by the hearing from others, then by which is beyond the senses, like Shankar, that Brahma Jyoti, then Adokshaja is this person, Supreme Lord Narayan, and Prakrita or Aprakrita means Krishna. That is highest. Although the mental scope of even demigods like Brahma was unable to comprehend the unlimited glories of the Supreme Lord, they were all able to perceive the transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by His grace. That is the only way how you can see. Like we are subject, means we are person, and this world is object, so we can see. But we cannot make Supreme Lord our object. He is super subjective. He is above us. We cannot go to him. But if he wills, he can come down to reveal himself to us. That is the only way by which we can realize. There is no other way. So, demigods, even Brahma, no one can comprehend and see. But when Krishna wants to reveal himself, then by his grace, one can see. Only by such grace could they offer their respectful prayers according to their different capacities. Like when Narayan touched Dhruva with conch shell, then everything was revealed in his heart and he offered prayers. He wanted to offer prayers, but he did not know how. Then by the grace of Narayan, that was revealed and he spoke. So actually Narayan speaking through the mouth of Dhruva his own glories. Same with Prahlad. When he was on Rishingadev, he wanted to offer prayers and Rishingadev blessed him. Then everything revealed. Then he spoke. So Rishingadev spoke his glories through the mouth of Prahlad and he is hearing. Like that, Brahma also, by the blessing of Krishna, he offered those prayers. So Krishna speaking through. That is real Harikatha. And our Bhaktivinoda Thakur also wrote that song, Siddha Deho Diya Brindavana Maje Sebamrita Kordan Piyaya Premata Korimore Shunoni Jogunogan. You give me my spiritual form. Radha Krishna, you give me my spiritual form. And in Brindavan. And you give me this nectar of your service. Sebamrita Kordan. This is actual Amrita. Amrita means seva. When you are engaged in the service of Krishna, then you are immortal, then you are transcendental. So devotees, they are always tasting Amrita, not only every 12 years or every 6 years or every 144 years, Kumbh Mela, but every moment. Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. They are tasting Amrita in the service of Krishna. So here, then he's telling Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sebamrita Korodan, Piyaya Premata Korimore Shununi Jogunugan. You make me drink prema to your lotus feet, means you bless me with your prema. Then I will speak your glories and you will hear. So Krishna himself is speaking his glories through the mouth of the devotee and he is hearing. That is real Harikatha. Only way. If someone with false ego, he will speak Harikatha, that is not actual Harikatha. It may sound like speak of Krishna, but Krishna will not be there. It will not be actual Harikatha. Like blank bullet makes sound, same as real bullet. But blank bullet cannot kill anyone. But real bullet can kill. Like that, that Harikatha has no potency, means no spiritual value. That is why, as you heard, there was Bhagavat Katha, but target was something else. So everyone were hearing and they were very happy. But Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, I did not hear any Bhagavatam. What I heard was only money, money, money. Because that person's speaker's target was to gather donations by speaking Bhagavat like a job, like some kind of profession. That is also offense, one kind of offense. To speak Bhagavatam as a profession. You are not actually wanting to satisfy Krishna, but you are earning money with Bhagavatam. That is offense. Or you are acting like a guru, you are giving mantras like a job for getting money. That is also offense. So professional speakers, professional gurus, all these things. If someone will serve Krishna, speaking Bhagavatam for the service of Krishna, then Bhagavatam will be there, otherwise not. And such devotee who is engaged in the service of Krishna, he will be maintained by Krishna. Krishna will give him appropriate profession, or he will give him donation by good people, but that person's target will not be money. It will be service of Krishna. And Krishna will automatically maintain without asking in a way that is appropriate. So here also they got this grace of Narayan and they offered prayers by his grace and also according to their personal capacities. Daksho grihitarhana sadanotamam Yageshwaram Vishwasrijam Param Gurum Sunanda Nandadi Anugair Vrita Muda Grinan Prapede Prayatah Kritanjali. When Lord Vishnu accepted the oblations offered in the sacrifice, Daksha, the Prajapati, began with great pleasure to offer respectful prayers unto him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually the master of all sacrifices and preceptor of all the Prajapatis. And he is served even by such personalities as Nanda and Sunanda. Daksha Uvach Shudam Swadam Nuparatakila Buddhyavastam Chin Matram Ekam Abhayam Pratisidyamayam Tishtam Stayeva Purushattam Upetya Dasyam Aste Bhavan Aparishuddha Ivatma Tantra. Daksha addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My dear Lord, you are transcendental to all speculative positions. He knows this. If you get a glimpse of Krishna by his grace, then you yourself can immediately realize this cannot be produced by my mind or cannot be imagined by my mind. It is totally beyond that. Such beauty, such quality, such this, it is impossible to speculate or imagine or create in your mind. Impossible. He realized this. So he said, my dear Lord, you are transcendental, means beyond all speculative positions, all thinking. You are completely spiritual, devoid of all fear, and you are always in control of the material energy. Even though you appear in the material energy, you are situated transcendentally. You are always free from material contamination because you are completely self-sufficient. So like king, he can come to prison, but he will not be prisoner. Krishna can appear in this material world, but he is not of this world and not bound by this world. He is always spiritual. Ritvija Uchu. So he, by the grace of Narayan, he offered such prayers. He spoke the truth. Ritvija Uchu. Tattvam nate vayam ananjana rudra shapat karman avagraha dhiyo bhagavan vidamaha. Dharmo palakshanam idam trivrit adva rakyam gyatam yat artam adidevam ado vyavastaha. The priests means Ritviks, the priests addressed the Lord, saying, O Lord, transcendental to material contamination, by the curse offered by Lord Shiva's men, we have become attached to fruitive activities, and thus we are now fallen, and therefore do not know anything about you. On the contrary, we are now involved in the injunctions of the three departments of Vedic knowledge under the plea of executing rituals in the name of Yagya. We know that you have made arrangements for distributing the respective shares of the demigods, but they neglected Shiva before, so now they realize that this was wrong. And they realized that he is transcendental to material contamination. And those who are attached to fruitive activities are fallen. That is false ego. I will do and I will enjoy. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham hi sarvaya jnanam bhokta cha prabhur eva cha. I am the only enjoyer of all sacrifices. I am the only master, owner of all sacrifices. I am everything. I am enjoyer. So you if someone has fruitive mentality, it means he's fallen. He's in Maya. He does not understand that Krishna is the only enjoyer. We are all his servants. When they asked Brahma about who am I, he said, I don't know. Then Hamsa Avatar appeared. Then Hamsa Avatar said, you are the witness of all these material changes, like changes in your body, changes in your mind, all these things, you are witness. They were asking, who are we and who are you? Then Hamsa Avatar, his Supreme Lord, he said, you are this witness and I am everything else. Everything else I am. You are witness, everything else I am. Krishna is everything, but we are not seeing because we don't have such vision. But those who have such vision, like Prahlad and others, they can have no fear, no worries, no nothing, because they see only Krishna everywhere. And Krishna is the only enjoyer and master of everything. All money belongs to Krishna, all women belong to Krishna. That Prabhupada wrote that song, Vaishnav Ke. All women, they belong to Krishna. He is their enjoyer. All fame belongs to Krishna. All money belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. I belong to Krishna. This. And we are his servants. Or like Sudama Vipra. His wife said, we are so poor. I cannot serve you. Please, you go to your friend Krishna and ask him. He's very opulent. He's king of Dwaraka. You ask him for some money. Then Sudama said, yes, I will go to Krishna because he is my friend and he is Supreme Lord. I want to take his darshan, but I will not ask him for money. I cannot do this. I am his servant. So he went to Dwaraka and Krishna received him and he worshipped him and they were speaking. And Krishna also accepted that broken rice from him and was very happy. Then when Sudama Vipra was going back home, then he said, then he was thinking what I will now say to my wife. I did not ask Krishna for money. But when he came back, his wife was very nicely dressed and ornamented with gold and on chariot and everything, and there was a big palace. And then wife said, you see what Krishna gave, everything, although Sudama never asked. Then when he heard from his wife that Krishna gave all these things, then he said, okay, then it is his property. We will only serve his property. We will watch his property. We will serve. That is how real devotee sees. He never sees, I'm enjoyer of anything. That is why they are never disturbed. But immediately when there is deviation from this, and we have separate interest, then, and separate ego, fruitive mentality, then all problems starts from there. And all problems are solved when we can accept this, our service to Krishna. And for that we need association of Shastra and real devotees, then we can get such inclination. Sadasya Uchu Utpatyadvani Asharana Uru Klesha Durgen Takogra Vyalan Vishte Vishaya Mriga Trishatma Gehoru Bhara Dvandva Shwabre Kala Mriga Bhaya Shoka Dave Gya Sarta Pado Kaste Sharanada Kada Yati Kamopasrishta. Even if I may speak about devotion to Krishna, but if I myself am not devoted to Krishna, then I cannot inspire anyone for the service of Krishna. Someone think, if I will memorize many shlokas, and I will speak nice harikatha, and I will put logic and everything I will, then people will be inspired. No. How much you yourself are devoted for the service of Krishna, that much you can inspire in others. Even if you don't know any shloka in memory. Like that Ramdas. He was fully dedicated to Krishna. That is why Prabhupada told he knows what is Bhagavatam, and that devotee who heard from him about devotion to Krishna, he was astonished to hear. And he became inspired to become dedicated to Krishna, not trying to get name and fame by speaking Bhagavatam on the stage for name and fame. No, he was blessed by Prabhupada and that Ramdas to get the taste for devotion, not for worldly things, because he has, but don't know any shloka, Sanskrit. I may repeat so many times, Tate Nukampam Susamishamanam, but I myself am blaming others for my suffering, then what benefit can have? The members of the assembly address the Lord. O exclusive shelter for all who are situated in troubled life. In this formidable fort of conditional existence, the time element, like a snake, is always looking for an opportunity to strike. This world is full of ditches of so-called distress and happiness, and there are many ferocious animals always ready to attack. The fire of lamentation is always blazing, and the mirage of false happiness is always alluring, but one has no shelter from them. Thus, foolish persons live in the cycle of birth and death, always overburdened in discharging their so-called duties, And we do not know when they will accept the shelter of your lotus feet. You see, what truth they said. Absolute truth, by the grace of Krishna. Narayan. This time takes away everything. You cannot rely on anything. You cannot rely on yourself. Someone is rich today, tomorrow he may lose everything. Or at the time of death he will lose. Time will take away. And in this world, always there is temporary distress and temporary happiness, sense gratification, temporary, and cannot fulfill. And fire of lamentation is always blazing because everything is taken away and you are not fulfilled by what you are getting. And phantasmagoria is always showing, you take me, you take me. The mirage of false happiness is always alluring, but one has no shelter from them. And we hear, I am so much overburdened, everyone is overburdened all the time. Because working all the time, so-called duties, but Jiva has no any other duty other than to serve Krishna. So all other duties are actually so-called duties, not real duties. So you are always overburdened by them because that is not natural activity and cannot give you the desired result. If hand wants to take food separately, directly, then she cannot be benefited. Only useless labor, no benefit. Or if you beat empty husk of rice, there is so much work, so much beating you are doing, but no rice is coming because it's not there. So like that, all so-called duties and enjoyments, they only waste energy because they cannot give desired result. That is absolute bliss. What we want, Satchidananda we want, but we cannot get. So we don't know when they will accept the shelter of your lotus feet. You are a shelter of all, and you are only here, they said, you are exclusive shelter, means only shelter. There is only one shelter for all who are situated in troubled life. Only you can rescue. That is one time when I said to Gurudev, no, I did not even say to him, but I was thinking in my room that today I will ask Gurudev that I am not able to concentrate on Krishna. Even when I'm chanting, I'm not able to think of Krishna, concentrate on Krishna, I will tell. Then when Gurudev came from watering Tulsi, then he saw me and he understood everything, what is in my heart. Then he just said, you have any difficulty? Then without telling, I only showed with fingers like this some difficulty I have, like this I showed. Then Gurudev smiled and he said, you should always think of Krishna because only he can rescue us, isn't it? If we can understand this point, that only Krishna can rescue us or save us, that he is the only shelter, he is the only reliable person, source of everything, only reliable, then naturally we will give attention on him. Otherwise not, otherwise we will think this is necessary, this, I have to do this, and always in tension. Like when child is in the lap of mother, he has no fear. like that, Krishna is omnipotent. This mother is limited, but child has no fear. But Krishna is really omnipotent, he is omnipresent, he is everywhere, and he is owner of everything. So if you become his child, then what problem you can have? What tension you can have? He can do anything. He has everything. He is everywhere. If one can realize this fact that only Krishna can save us, then where we will give attention? Then we will give attention to Krishna only. We will take his shelter. He's the only reliable, but we are thinking if I will become friend with that rich person, then I will be, it will be okay, I will have money, I will be there. But that person may lose that money tomorrow. Or I'm thinking I will earn, then I will put bodyguards and I will have money in bank account and I will, then I'm safe. But you ask those persons who are very rich, maybe they will not admit, but you observe them, you will see they are always in tension. Why they're in tension? They have so many things. Why they're always in tension? They cannot sleep at night. They have to take sleeping pills to sleep. Why they are so much in tension? They have everything. They have women, they have money, they have houses, they have everything. Why they're in tension? But that Sridhar Pandit in Mayapur, he had nothing, broken house, but he had no tension, always happy. When Mahaprabhu said, I will give you all money, what you want, you just ask. He said, no, I don't want. I want your service only. He has no tension. And Dhruva, Narayan offered him, I will give you all money, kingdom, everything I will give you. You ask. He said, no, I don't want. So if we can realize this fact that only Krishna can rescue us, can save us from all troubles. He's the only shelter for all who are situated in troubled life, material existence. He's the only shelter, exclusive. They realize this point because by the grace of Narayan. If one can realize this point, then where he will give his energy, where he will give his attention, only one point, and that is very intelligent. That is the only intelligent. Other things are unreliable because next he's telling in this formidable fort of conditional existence, the time element, like a snake, is always looking for an opportunity to strike. Any moment it will be taken away from you. They realize what is the truth of this world. So nothing is reliable. Only Krishna is reliable, but we are so blind, so illusioned that our attention is everywhere else. We think this is important, this is important, and this is important. Not thinking of Krishna. That does not mean that those who have taken shelter of Krishna, that they are not working anything. They are working, but what Krishna wants. Then, yes, Gurudev further told, you should always think of Supreme Lord Krishna, because he will rescue us, isn't it? Gurudev has realized the soul. Then he said, you should always think what Krishna wants. And you should do that, isn't it? But I'm not thinking that. So that is misfortune. That is because only real devotees, they have such thinking. I'm thinking how I will enjoy this, how I will get this, how I did all this, and worries, so many worries, what will happen, all these things. But devotees, they know Krishna is shelter, and only I have to think what he wants and I should do that. So when, if their household, they will do earning, they will do bhajan, they will do preaching, they will do everything without any tension. And those who are ascetics, those who are completely surrendered, they also have no tension. But the presence of tension means I am not in shelter of Krishna. Our Gurudev always said, by the fruit you can know the tree. If fruit is sweet, then you can know the tree is good. So if I have tension, it proves that I am not in the shelter of Krishna. Simple. And those who are in the shelter of Krishna, they have no anxiety, no worries, no nothing. And they always serve Krishna. No any other duty, only one duty. But here, we are always overburdened. All the time lamenting and overburdened with so-called duties. And we do not know when they will accept the shelter of your lotus feet. This is our misfortune. We are troubled, but we are not taking shelter of Krishna. Because lack of Sukriti and no Shastra, Sangha, Sadhu, Sangha, so we are not thinking of taking shelter of Krishna. Like Narad, he was always remembering Krishna. But then one day he said, I want to see Maya. Then Krishna said, no, why you will see Maya? You cannot see Maya. You are always remembering me. You are asking others from Maya. Then Narad said, no, I want to experience what kind of suffering they are getting. Then Krishna thought how I can show him my Maya. It is very difficult to show Maya to devotee. He is always remembering me. So Maya comes only to one who will forget Krishna. So Krishna made that arrangement that Narad went to take bath in that lake. Then he became one young girl in the middle of ocean, no one anywhere, and there now Narad is calling for help, but not Krishna, because he forgot Krishna. He's calling for help. Please, someone help me, someone help me, help me. Then that king came and he rescued her, and they married, and 50 children. Then children grown up, they got married. Then wives start to say to their husbands, you know, your brother got much more. He got more from your father than you. It is not good. You should take that from him. Then that husband said, no, what father gave is okay. Why? No problem. But woman all the time, because they have no any satiation of their desires all the time. I want this, I want this, I want this all the time. 24 hours program. I saw in practical whole time demanding. So they were demanding, then those sons, because attached to woman, they start to fight. They are brothers, but they were fighting, killing each other because of those ladies' unsatisfied desires all the time. They were fighting, they killed each other, mutual fighting. They're brothers. Then Narad, in the form of queen, was crying, oh God, you are so cruel. You are so cruel. Why? Why you did this? Then Krishna came in the form of Brahmin, and he said, what happened? And yes, before already, Pujari came from temple, Radha Krishna temple, and he requested Queen, you come, there will be Janmashtami festival, you come. Krishna's birthday celebration, you come. And Queen said, no, I have no time. You take this money and go, but I have no time. So that is Maya. Then Brahmin came and said, what happened? Then Queen was crying, I want to die. God is so cruel, I cannot live. All my sons died. Then he said, by crying you cannot get anything. So I will do Shraddh ceremony. You cannot get your sons back. Even if you cry for 100 years, you cannot get them back. This is like this. But you can do Shraddh ceremony. I will do for you. You do. Then okay. Then he said, you take bath in that lake first before Shraddh. In our Calcutta mat also, before they are doing Shraddh, they are taking bath and new dhoti and everything, then they will come. Then Narad again became Narad. And he saw Krishna in front of him. Then he was ashamed by remembering that. Then Krishna said, what, Narad, what happened? Then he said, I cannot say. I am ashamed. I cannot say. No, you say what happened. Then Narad said, I became girl, all these things happened. Then I was totally forgetting you. I did not take your shelter. I did not go for your Janmashtami festival. I blamed you that you are very cruel, everything I did. I'm ashamed. What was this? Then Krishna, this is my Maya. You want to see again? Then Narad said, no, I don't want to see again. So this is Maya. Maya means what? Maya means when we forget Krishna, then all troubles start. We don't know who is our shelter. We are attached to these non-eternal relations, and always we have to suffer. That is the whole point. So we have to remember Krishna. Immediately he took shelter elsewhere. Someone help me. He never called Krishna Krishna. Rudra Uvach. Tava Varada Varangrav Ashishe Ha Kilarte Hyapi Muni Bir Asakter Adare Narhaniye Yadi Rachita Dhyam Mavidya Loko Pavidham Japati Na Ganaye Tat Tvat Paranugrahena. Lord Shiva said, my dear Lord, my mind and consciousness are always fixed on your lotus feet. You see, this is what is required. I am not thinking of Krishna at all. But Shiva said, my mind and consciousness are always fixed on your lotus feet, which as the source of all benediction and the fulfillment of all desires are worshipped by all liberated great sages, because your lotus feet are worthy of worship. Fixation of mind to the object of worship. Only Krishna can fulfill all our desires. We want Satchidananda. Only He can fulfill this. That is why those who are intelligent, like Shiva, they are always fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna. And all liberated souls. Sada Pashanti Suraya. With my mind fixed on your lotus feet, I am no longer disturbed by persons who blaspheme me, claiming that my activities are not purified. I don't bother. I do not mind their accusations, and I excuse them out of compassion, just as you exhibit compassion toward all living entities. So here also, by the fruit, I can understand. Shiva is not disturbed by accusations, but I am disturbed. It means I have false ego. There may be false accusations, it is not true, but if I am disturbed, it means I have false ego. And I am disturbed, and I take revenge, not compassion for wrongdoings, but revenge, because false ego. But Shiva, he is not disturbed. Krishna also says in Gita, one who is not disturbed by fame, blaspheme, happiness, distress, this, nothing. Then he is Tita Pragya. His consciousness is fixed in Samadhi. This is most difficult. Desires for money and sexual enjoyment, they are difficult to give up. But more difficult to give up is this desire for respect. And you cannot tolerate any insult or false accusation or anything because your ego hurts. But those who are devotees like Shiva, who have mind on Krishna, they are out of false ego, so they are not disturbed by this. And not only that, they can forgive those persons who are doing wrong to them. Really doing wrong, they can forgive easily, out of compassion. So this is required. Tomorrow we will hear about Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj. If any more time, then we can continue this. By the grace, by the association of such devotees, pure devotees like Shiva or Srila Narayan Gosai Maharaj and others, then we can get some inclination to serve Krishna. But we don't want to surrender to Krishna, so how we can do devotion to him, because surrender is the basis. I'm thinking if I will surrender to Krishna, then he will take away everything from me. So I'm doing chanting, I'm doing this and all this, only external like devotion, but that is no devotion. Without surrender, there is no devotion. I'm not accepting what is favorable for devotion, not rejecting what is unfavorable. I'm not accepting Krishna is only maintainer. I think I am maintainer or others. He's the only protector I'm not accepting. And not accepting I belong to him, and also not offering everything for his service, Atma Nivedanam. So then how I can do devotion? My chanting and going to temple and all these things, only external, like devotion, but not real devotion, because surrender is lacking. So only from a surrendered soul, we can learn surrender and we can become inspired for surrender and to practice surrender. For this, we need association of surrender devotees, Sharanagata devotees, practically surrendered, not by words, but practically. Then this is the basis of devotion. So we'll hear tomorrow.